Last week, we lost against the Saints. This week, we cannot lose to Sean Payton.
Come Deboe. Who? Deboe.
Ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens, pimps and players, and everybody between, it's your boy, the one and only Deboe Vibes right here. Thank you so much for coming by another episode of the Deboe Vibe Sports Dive, where we're going to dive into all things Atlanta Falcons. Our Dirty Birds, man. Our Dirty Birds, we went down to New Orleans and y'all know what happened. Y'all know what happened. We lost to them funky ass Saints. But new game week, we got to get into it, y'all. This week we're heading out west, y'all, to the Mile High City, Denver, to play the Denver Broncos. Now, I know we had a bad loss last week, but we ain't the only ones. The Broncos had a bad loss too, a horrible loss, y'all, and I'll get into that later on. But for now, let's go ahead and get into the review of the Broncos versus our Dirty Birds and how we can get out of Mile High City with a victory. So y'all ready to get into it? Y'all ready? I'm ready. Falcon Bear, you ready? He ready? Let's go! Now, the Denver Broncos offense is led by rookie quarterback Bo Nix. Now, Bo Nix started the year horrifically, y'all. Horrible. His first 4 games, he threw 1 touchdown and 4 interceptions. However, the rookie out of Oregon is getting a little more than Sean Payton's offense. In the past 6 games, he's thrown down touchdowns. Not only that, he's leading all rookies in rushing touchdowns and passing touchdowns. So week by week, he's gaining more confidence. Now, one way I think Jimmy Lake's defense can get him real uncomfortable is putting him in a pressure situation. When Bo Nix is in pressure situations, he gets real erratic and really tends to flutter the ball into traffic, try to force passes to his receivers. And once again, we cannot sleep on his running ability. Against the New Orleans Saints, he ran the ball 10 times for 75 yards. If I had to compare him to somebody, it would be Baker Mayfield. He's very much like a Baker Mayfield type. So in this particular game right here, we might want to consider having a spy on him because we have seen the struggles we had against a running quarterback. Applying pressure to Bo Nix could be difficult considering the Denver Broncos offensive line ranks number 1 in the NFL in pass block win rate.
Deboe.
In reference to the running game, the Broncos have a 3-headed monster by way of running backs Audric Estime, Jaleel McLaughlin, and Javonte Williams. Now, Javonte Williams, he was the lead running back. However, for the past couple of weeks, rookie running back out of Notre Dame, Audric Estime, has shown that he can tote that rock. He's slowly becoming their number 1 running back. Last week against Kansas City, Audric Estime showed that he is that running back that can carry the load off tackle with physical force. And he also showed glimpses of how explosive he can be. So our interior of Grady Jarrett, David Onyemata, and hopefully maybe even Brandon Dorlus, who Coach Ross said might play in this game, will have to use strong gap integrity to make sure Estime does not get into the second level.
Deboe.
The wide receiver core is led by Pro Bowler Courtland Sutton. Sutton came into the game last week against the Kansas City Chiefs, hosting 2 straight 100-yard games. Sutton is a home run threat. Last week, he worked all-pro cornerback Trent McDuffie, including catching a touchdown on McDuffie on a vertical route. The other receivers are Marvin Mims Jr., Devon Vele, and Lil Jordan Humphrey. Now, I know those aren't household names. However, when you think back to the Buccaneers, neither were those receivers either. And Baker Mayfield threw for over 300 yards on us a couple of weeks back. Something to think about. Now, Marvin Mims Jr., he's the one that we really got to keep a close eye on. He's like their Deboe Samuel. He's one of the receivers they put in the backfield on occasion and have him run the ball or send him on wheel routes. So A.J. Terrell will have his hand full with Courtland Sutton. However, all those receivers, with the exception of Marvin Mims Jr., all stand 6'4". Jimmy Lake and Jerry Gray had to be cognizant of that because they can definitely win the 50-50 ball.
Deboe.
Bo Nix and his offense is starting to get into the groove of things. That's not good for us considering we're also losing 2 key players on our defense in TQ Graham and James Smith-Williams. Both will be out. I think Troy Anderson, he's a go. Coach Ross said he's a go for this game. Mike Hughes had a neck injury, but he should be a go as well. We definitely had to sustain a run efforts of the Denver Broncos, use good gap integrity, and more polished run fits. Because with this Broncos offense, Sean Payton will run the ball right down your throat. But like I said a little bit ago, I'm very excited about the potential of Brandon Dorlus getting it in there. But who knows, Brandon Dorlus, the rookie out of Oregon, may get back there and have the opportunity to sack his old teammate from Oregon, Bo Nix. Let's go! Zach Robinson, Kirk Cousins, and our offensive personnel is going up against a very, very stingy and a very tough Vance Joseph-led Denver Broncos defense. I would have to say this defense right here will have to be the toughest defense we face since we faced the Chiefs and Steve Spagnuolo's defense. They currently rate 5th in the NFL in total defense. Vance Joseph uses very different schemes and different packages, very elaborate to disguise. This fast and aggressive defense held the Chiefs at 16 points last week, and they sacked Patrick Mahomes 4 times. They currently have 36 sacks for the year. Must be nice. The defensive line is led by defensive end Zach Allen, who currently ranks 8th in the NFL in pressures. He also had sacked last week.
Deboe.
The Broncos linebackers are also extremely athletic. They're led by outside linebackers Jonathan Cooper and Nick Benito. Now, Nick Benito, who's a full-time starter now since the other linebacker, Baron Brown, got traded to the Cardinals, is lights out, and he has an extreme burst off the ball. He also had a sack last week. However, that one sack does not tell a story about the domination he had against the Chiefs offensive line. The Broncos linebackers are very comparable to the Chiefs linebackers. The Chiefs linebackers are Drew Tranquil and Nick Bolton, and these Broncos linebackers are as athletic and as fast. So in a passing situation, if we can get Kyle Pitts, Tyler Algier, Bijan to just chip one of those individuals to allow Kirk Cousins more time in his progression, that will allow our offense to move down the field.
Deboe.
Now, speaking of passing situations, we cannot talk about the defense without talking about Patrick Surtain II, all-pro cornerback of the Denver Broncos. Last week, he totally shut down DeAndre Hopkins. He also travels the field a lot, so he's not just stuck on one receiver. He could be on Mooney or he could be on Drake. Now, in this situation, Drake is our best receiver, so expect Patrick Surtain II to be on Drake London for the most part of the game. Without question, this could very well be Drake London's biggest test, as Patrick Surtain II has the ability to totally erase the opposing team's best receiver. The Denver Broncos CB2 is Riley Moss. Now, Riley Moss, he started the season as a third stringer. He's worked his way up to be a starting cornerback. Riley Moss has done yeoman's work opposite of Patrick Surtain II. However, he did have his struggles last week against the Chiefs. So with Riley Moss more than likely being signed on Darnell Mooney, look for Zach Robinson to dial up plays that will allow Mooney to expose Riley Moss potentially, especially with those effective Mooney out routes, which could put pressure on the safeties to help out Moss, which in turn could allow Drake London to win those matchups against Patrick Surtain II, especially with those 50-50 balls.
Deboe.
This defense is aggressive. This defense is fast. This defense has 36 sacks for the year. We had to find a way to protect Kirk Cousins. Over the past 3 games, Kirk Cousins has been sacked 7 times. Out of 7 times, he's fumbled the ball 5 times. So I don't know what is about this man getting sacked and him fumbling, but whenever Kirk gets sacked, he's going to fumble the ball. 80% of the time Kirk Cousins gets sacked, he fumbles. Kirk Cousins has 10 fumbles this year. Our offensive line, which hopefully should include Drew Dahlman, I think he's going to play this week, has to allow Kirk Cousins to successfully execute the play. If we can do that, y'all, get his offense going, we have a chance against this Vance Joseph defense. Let's go!
We have a return. He kicked it 100 miles. Long spiral to the 21-yard line to Dion to the 30. Dion out to the 35. Dancing 40, 45, 50, 45, 40, 35. Dion 20, 15, 10, 5. Deion Sanders.
Falcons at Mile High against the Denver Broncos. Now, the Denver Broncos, like I said a little bit ago, they also had a horrible loss last week. They were a field goal away from defeating the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs, and that field goal got blocked. So if you think we feeling crazy because we lost to the Aints, imagine how the Broncos feel. So the Broncos are coming to this game with a chip on their shoulder, just like we are. Very upset about the last game they played. And on top of that, guys, believe it or not, the Broncos are a playoff team. Right now, they're ranked 7th in the AFC. So there's no team to look past. And like I said initially, we lost to the Aints last week. Can't believe we lost to those nasty, funky-ass Aints, but we did. We cannot, absolutely cannot, lose to Sean Payton, because y'all remember what Sean Payton did to us when he was a coach of those damn New Orleans Saints. With that being said, y'all, let's go to Mile High and whoop their ass. All right. Hey, man, guess what, man? Thank y'all so much for coming by the Deboe Vibe Sports Dive, and we will vibe out soon. I see greatness in you like you see greatness in me, man. I love y'all, man. From the top of my head to the soles of my feet, it's your boy. One on Deboe Vibes right here. And as always, y'all, respect, love, and peace, and rise up. Yeah!
Deboe.
I want some of Deboe.